So chlorine is interesting in that actually if you pour yourself a glass of water and then leave that glass out overnight, the chlorine itself will evaporate and you've got rid of the chlorine. So that sort of solves the chlorine problem. But it is more complicated than that, because these days most sort of cities and big urban areas use chloramine instead of chlorine in the water, and that does not evaporate overnight. You need to filter it out if you want to get rid of it. So that's where these filters come in. They will take chlorine and chloramine out. And if you look into this and you sort of look at the research on the impacts of chlorine on your gut microbiome, now this is something that's very interesting to me. Over the years, I've had pretty weird digestive issues that I've been experimenting with diet and all of these kinds of things. And the natural bacteria in your digestion is quite interesting. It's obviously a very important part in the way that you sort of feel like well or not well comes from that. So it's not actually you, it's the bacteria inside you. And we know that chlorine kills bacteria. There's no reason it's going to stop killing bacteria just because you're drinking it, as opposed to it being in pipework, right? So it sort of stands to reason a little bit, but there is science and research that kind of proves this, as well as all sorts of things that demonstrate that the bacteria in the gut are changed as a result of consuming chlorine at sort of tap water safe levels. Some of these are animal studies, and obviously you have to take those with a pinch of salt in terms of how relevant they are to us. And there are other things where it sort of appears that this is much worse for kids than adults, and these other kinds of studies. But it's enough for me to think, actually, considering that there is just no cost associated apart from the cost of these filters, which is minimal, there's no real barrier, there's no real compromise or penalty for doing this. So clearly water without chlorine is going to be better than water with chlorine on any level. Proof or no proof, it's like the one without the chlorine is clearly a more suitable form for you to be drinking it in, isn't it?